Across the vast landscapes of the United States, from the icy peaks of Alaska to the sweltering lowlands of Texas and Florida, farmers and hunters face a timeless challenge: how to live alongside some of nature's most powerful and destructive creatures. These are not just animals, they are forces of nature. Brown bears, coyotes, feral hogs, vultures, and countless other species remind us every day that the balance between man and wildlife is fragile, precarious, and often violent. This documentary explores how American farmers, ranchers, and hunters fight back, sometimes with science, sometimes with steel, and sometimes with nothing more than grit and tradition. It is a story of survival, adaptation, and respect for nature's fury. Brown bears, guardians of the wilderness or farmers' worst nightmare. In the rugged wilderness of the United States, particularly Alaska, Montana, and Wyoming, brown bears, including the formidable grizzly subspecies, dominate the ecosystem. These colossal omnivores command respect, with diets ranging from berries and salmon to livestock. For the farmer working the land, however, a bear's visit is rarely a blessing. One bear breaking into a herd can kill multiple sheep, cattle, or goats in a single night. Cornfields can be flattened. Beehives raided. And when bears become too comfortable near humans, even lives are at risk. Preparation is everything. Hunting brown bears is not a casual pursuit, it is a matter of survival and strategy. State wildlife agencies strictly regulate hunting seasons, aligning them with peak bear activity, often in autumn when the animals gorge in preparation for hibernation. Farmers and hunters must secure permits, acquire high-caliber rifles, and undergo rigorous training. Tracking bears requires patience and mastery. Farmers spend days scouring terrain for tracks, claw marks, or piles of scat. Some traditions even rely on dogs bred specifically for bear pursuit, able to track scents through thick forests. Approach, however, is the most dangerous moment. Brown bears possess acute senses, particularly smell, and can detect humans from miles away. Staying downwind, moving slowly, and maintaining absolute silence are the only ways to avoid alerting the beast. The moment of action. When the hunter finally takes the shot, precision is life or death. The goal is not simply to kill, it is to kill swiftly and humanely. A missed or poorly placed shot can enrage a bear, transforming it into a charging avalanche of fur and claws. Hunters often prefer long-range rifles, shooting from a vantage point that offers both safety and accuracy. Once downed, retrieving the animal is a Herculean task. With some bears weighing 600 to 1,200 pounds, teamwork is non-negotiable. Nothing wasted. The meat is often consumed or donated. The fur becomes clothing, blankets, or traditional garments. Even the claws and bones are repurposed for cultural artifacts or tools. To hunters and farmers alike, respecting the animal means ensuring nothing goes to waste. Coyotes, masters of adaptation and rural terror. Unlike solitary bears, coyotes bring another kind of menace, one built on intelligence, speed, and relentless adaptability. These crafty predators thrive almost everywhere, from desert plains to suburban backyards. The growing threat. Coyotes breed rapidly, often rebounding from control efforts within a single season. One breeding pair can produce a litter of up to 12 pups, many of which survive due to abundant food and lack of predators. For farmers, this means a problem that never truly disappears. Coyotes frequently hunt in pairs or small packs, tearing through flocks of sheep or chickens. In some cases, a single night's raid can wipe out months of a farmer's work. Tactics and technology. Farmers and hunters employ advanced strategies. Electronic calls that mimic distressed rabbits or bleating lambs. Trail cameras for tracking movement. High-powered rifles or, in dense brush, shotguns for quick engagement. Camouflage and wind discipline, since coyote senses are razor-sharp. A successful hunt requires timing. Dawn and dusk are peak activity windows. Even then, patience is everything. Coyotes often circle calls, testing for danger before committing. The shot and beyond. When a hunter spots a coyote, action must be immediate yet precise. A well-placed chest shot ensures a humane kill. Wounding a coyote is dangerous. These animals learn quickly, and a wounded survivor may teach others to avoid future traps or calls. The carcass is rarely wasted. Coyote pelts are prized in fur markets, particularly in colder regions where their coats grow thick. Wildlife agencies even encourage coyote hunting as part of population control programs. Feral hogs, America's invading army. If brown bears and coyotes are natural predators, feral hogs are something far worse, an invasive species gone berserk. Descended from pigs brought centuries ago by settlers, these animals have multiplied into the millions, an estimated 6 million across the United States, with Texas alone home to more than half. Unstoppable breeders. Hogs are capable of producing 2 litters per year, with up to a dozen piglets each. Populations expand explosively, overwhelming farmlands and ecosystems. They uproot crops, destroy irrigation, compete with livestock, and spread disease like swine fever and brucellosis. Signs of the enemy. Farmers track hog activity by searching for rooted soil, muddy wallows, broken fences, and tracks. Trail cameras often confirm what farmers already know. Once hogs arrive, they rarely leave without a fight. Hunting and trapping methods. High-caliber rifles for quick, humane kills. Night vision scopes and thermal imaging, since hogs are most active after dark. Corn baiting, drawing them into clearings for controlled shots. Trained dogs, capable of tracking and holding hogs until hunters arrive. But the most effective tool remains the corral trap, a reinforced steel cage capable of capturing entire sounders, hog groups, at once. This method allows farmers to make significant population cuts in a single night. Meat and risk. Feral hog meat is edible and even considered a delicacy when properly cooked. But diseases carried by hogs make handling dangerous. Gloves, sanitation, and thorough cooking are essential. Some farmers sell hog meat as sausage or jerky, creating an unexpected income stream from an invasive nightmare. Vultures, nature's janitors or farmers' torment. Where there is death, vultures follow. In the American South, these massive birds perch on rooftops, fence posts, and even tractors, scanning the ground for fresh carcasses. Turkey vultures versus black vultures. The red-headed turkey vulture is primarily a scavenger, feeding on carrion and rarely attacking live animals. Black vultures, however, are far bolder. Farmers have reported calves being attacked mid-birth, mothers still struggling to deliver when the birds swoop in. Losses can reach thousands of dollars per animal, devastating small farms. The problem of protection. Vultures are federally protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Farmers cannot kill them without permits, leaving deterrence as the only option. Common deterrents include hanging effigies, dummy vultures, to scare others away. Carcass removal to deny food sources. Electric shock systems on rooftops to discourage roosting. Flare guns and noisemakers to scatter flocks. A complicated ally. Despite their nuisance, vultures play a crucial ecological role. By consuming decaying carcasses, they prevent disease spread and recycle nutrients into the ecosystem. In countries like Spain, vultures are celebrated for reducing methane emissions by removing tons of rotting meat annually. Balancing their benefits with their destructive habits is a challenge that continues to divide communities. The return of the apex predator. Few animals inspire as much awe, or fear, as the wolf. Once hunted nearly to extinction across the United States, wolves have staged a comeback in regions like the Northern Rockies and the Great Lakes. While conservationists celebrate their return, farmers often see it differently. Conflict with farmers. Wolves target livestock, sheep, goats, and cattle, especially in remote grazing areas. A single wolf pack can cause catastrophic losses overnight. Unlike coyotes, wolves hunt with military precision, using pack coordination to isolate and bring down larger prey. Regulation and management. Because wolves are federally protected under the Endangered Species Act, farmers cannot freely hunt them. This has created tension between rural communities and conservation authorities. In states where wolves have been delisted, such as Idaho and Montana, controlled hunting is permitted under strict quotas. Farmers deploy various methods to defend livestock. Guard dogs bred specifically to fend off wolves. Fladry, lines of red flags that wolves avoid. Night corrals with electric fencing. Non-lethal deterrents like noise cannons and flashing lights. Still, wolves remain a source of fear and respect. To many farmers, they embody the eternal struggle between wilderness and civilization. Baboons, Africa's parallel struggle. While not native to America, baboons in Africa present a striking parallel. Across nations like Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa, baboons raid maize fields, fruit orchards, and even homes. Their intelligence makes them formidable adversaries. A farmer's nightmare. Baboons work in troops, with scouts, raiders, and sentinels. Farmers describe them as thieves who never stop learning. They can open doors, dismantle fences, and even outsmart traps. In some cases, farmers resort to employing human guards, children, women, or entire families stationed at fields to shout, throw stones, or fire blanks to scare them away. Innovations and struggles. To combat baboon raids, some communities use chili fences, ropes soaked in chili oil, or employ trained dogs. Others rely on organized hunts. But baboons' intelligence and adaptability mean every solution is temporary. Their story mirrors the American battle with feral hogs, a relentless adversary that forces humans into constant innovation. Leopards, silent farmers' foe. In parts of Africa, India, and Asia, leopards represent a different kind of challenge: stealth. Unlike noisy hogs or brazen baboons, leopards strike under the cover of night. Impact on livelihoods. A leopard slipping into a village may kill goats, sheep, or even dogs. For subsistence farmers, losing a single goat can mean months of lost income. For larger farms, repeated leopard predation can devastate entire herds. Balancing fear and reverence. Leopards, like wolves and bears, are apex predators. Many cultures view them with reverence. Yet farmers facing losses cannot afford to think romantically. Governments encourage coexistence programs, offering compensation for losses, but resentment grows wherever these cats stalk the shadows. Historical parallels: man versus beast through the ages. The conflict between humans and wildlife is as old as farming itself. Ancient Mesopotamian tablets depict farmers pleading with gods to protect their herds from lions. Medieval European chronicles describe entire villages arming themselves against wolf packs in harsh winters. In the American frontier, homesteaders faced bears, mountain lions, and bison herds trampling their crops. What we see today, farmers in Texas battling hogs, Alaskans wary of bears, Africans defending fields from baboons, is part of this timeless narrative. Humanity bends landscapes, but nature pushes back, again and again. Future solutions: technology and coexistence. The future of wildlife management will not rely on rifles alone. Emerging solutions include drone surveillance, tracking herds of hogs or wolves across vast landscapes. DNA-based monitoring, allowing scientists to predict predator movements. Smart fencing, electrified and solar-powered, designed to adapt to wildlife activity. Community-based programs, where farmers are trained in non-lethal deterrence and compensated fairly for losses. But even with technology, the question remains: can humanity truly coexist with predators and invasive species, or will the battle continue endlessly? Farmer testimonies, voices from the front lines. I lost 10 calves in a single season to coyotes. People tell me to just accept it as part of nature, but how do I feed my family when my work gets torn apart overnight? Rancher, Wyoming. We used to think hogs were just another nuisance. Now, they're tearing up thousands of dollars worth of crops every year. We trap them, we shoot them, but they just keep coming. Farmer, Texas. The wolves are beautiful, I won't deny it. But when you see one dragging off your sheep, beauty doesn't put food on the table. Shepherd, Montana. Outro, Vendor&Wildlife channel. The battles of farmers and hunters against nature's fiercest creatures reveal a story that is bigger than any one farm, any one state, or even any one country. It is the eternal struggle between survival and respect, between destruction and coexistence. Brown bears, coyotes, feral hogs, vultures, wolves, baboons, leopards, each plays a role in the balance of the wild. Yet for those on the front lines, balance often comes at a heavy cost. As technology evolves and communities adapt, the question remains: will we find harmony, or will we forever live in conflict with the wild? If you've faced challenges with wildlife, or if you simply believe these stories must be told, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, White Right Pointing Backhand Index, like this video. White Right Pointing Backhand Index, subscribe to Vendor&Wildlife channel. White Right Pointing Backhand Index, turn on notifications so you never miss the next deep dive into the untold struggles of wildlife and humanity. Until next time, stay aware, stay prepared, and stay inspired.